Hello there, welcome to The Beam. I am Victor Matthias. Nigeria may have bowed out of the World Cup, but the competition continues with European and South American countries already booking their spots in the semi-final stage. Nigerians, however, still feel disappointed after losing to France in the knockout stage. On the program today, we will be looking at the performance of the Super Eagles as well as other sundry issues in Nigerian football. Ifrike Inyang and other Nigerians will be joining me today for this analysis. Before we begin though, let's take a look at other social media trending topics. Burnt BRT. Though the military denied culpability in the burning of BRT buses at the Palm Grove axis of Lagos State, eyewitness reports blamed the territory protecting outfit for the sad incident. Neymar. The Brazilian wonder kid picked up an injury that has ended his dream of playing in the World Cup final. That's if Brazil qualifies, but all hope isn't lost for the young star. If his teammates can get 2 more wins in the competition, Neymar will be a world champion. Now that's it on the trends. Let's now chat with our online contributors.
Nigeria's sojourn at the 2014 World Cup was a direct reflection of its homegrown problems and the politics associated with meritocracy. It's not something that has to do with the coach alone. It's something that everybody has to take the blame. Keshi went to the World Cup with the boys he felt could perform, but he knew deep down within him that that squad had a problem. He knew there were injury concerns with that team. He knew he had problems with the NFF. He didn't deem it right, probably because he felt it wasn't going to be a good thing to start raising an eyebrow about management deficiencies and all that, or management issues he was having with the NFF before the World Cup kick-started. So he had his own problems. He had problems with a personal relationship with the leadership of the Nigerian Football Federation. He had problems with team selection. He had problems deep down within himself as the technical handler or the manager of the team. He had technical deficiencies himself. He didn't seek help before the World Cup. There's a difference between you going to play an African Cup of Nations and you going to play a World Cup. So when he got to the main stage where he was supposed to shine, he did it. And I'll give you just two examples. The game between Iran and Nigeria was won on the bench. You had the coach of Iran, Carlos Queiroz, who was fantastic, who understood what it meant to technically seal a team and make it impregnable for you to pass through their midfield. And he did just that. The Iranian teams had 15 out of their 23-man squad playing in the local Iranian league. Each time I hear about Iran, the only thing I know about Iran is all about nuclear weapons and nuclear bombs. I've never heard of Iran as a football playing nation, but they had a coach who was sound. And we played a draw. It was the worst performance so far from Nigeria. And there was a Bosnia and Herzegovina, which we managed to defeat. We didn't defeat Bosnia because we were better. We defeated because luck was on our side. The boys put up some elements of maturity and focus, and the referee was kind of in support of whatever position we pushed on that day, and we won.
The players on the bench, I don't really know much of them. The only player I think I could say was this guy that came in. This guy that plaited his hair. We were even laughing at him. We were calling him Flavor over here. When he came in, we called him Flavor. This is not a place where you come to sing music. Go and sing music. When that change he did was, I don't think anything that guy played. I begin to wonder where he picked that guy from. And one would even ask question, where is Victor Mba and the rest of them, two key players who played in the Nations Cup, and he dropped them. And one would ask. So I think the team so far so good. They have done what they could do. Mikel fell short of expectation in the midfield so far. I mean, I was listening to someone who was also talking about it on Channels Television. He said Mikel is just like a Hummer with a small engine in it. The glory of Chelsea is that's what is moving him. And we fell short of expectation. I think now that we have those boys who will be going out, I don't know if Mikel will have a feature in the national team again, but Yobo is certain that Yobo is leaving the team. So it's left for Stephen Keshi or whosoever will be the coach. But the greatest problem we're going to have is sacking him, letting him go. That is the greatest problem we're going to have, because he has started this job. He knows how the team is right now. So it's left for us to send him to training, invite other coaches, other world-class coaches to come and train, not just only him, including our own including our own football league, the coaches we have. The coaches we have coaching the various leagues we have. I think they need to organize good training for them, and so that they can also pick up from there. But the team so far, I think I will rate them a bit fair. Their game, they played maturely. They didn't play. I think they were. I think there's a kind of oneness. Nobody played for self glory. So that was what I saw in that team, and Kesho was able to handle them, one on one, and they could understand each other, and they knew they were playing for their country. I think for the first time, I've not seen any of them dragging for allowance or whatsoever. So all the players were matured, unlike what happened in the Cameroonian team, where you even see both players, fighting. So I think that alone, there was a good conduct in that team. So I think is something good. It's something we have to commend.
For me, there's no basic difference between the Nigerian team, the Ghanaian team, and the Cameroonian team. It's all a whole set of very disciplined set of players. 24 hours before the match between Nigeria and France, the Nigerian team, they didn't train. Was it 24, 48 hours? I think it was 2 days to the match. They skipped training for 1 day because of allowances. And they were arguing that if they go into the match against France and they probably lost the match or lose the match, the government wouldn't pay them again. That again tells you the kind of organization you have in the NFF and the kind of trust players of the national team have in their managers or in their management. And they didn't trust the NFF. By extension, they didn't trust the Nigerian government, which again, if you want to rephrase or recap, you would begin to see a linkage between that and what happens at home. Nobody trusts anybody. The citizens doesn't trust the government. The government doesn't trust its citizens. So we had those issues. The team was extremely indisciplined. The only difference between the Nigerian team and the Ghanaian team was that, or the Cameroonian team was that, in the case of Nigeria, they didn't allow it to go out of hand, and they knew it was going to be a problem. And somebody who had his senses working nipped that crisis in the bud, and it was controlled. And Keshi came on board and said, well, it wasn't just about allowances, and there was no issue about allowances in camp, and everybody was fine. But it was there as a problem. One other thing I think was wrong with that team was this lack of patriotism or enthusiasm about you wearing the colors of your national, of your country, or of your national team. I didn't see the kind of motivation, the kind of patriotism, the kind of enthusiasm, the kind of commitment, the kind of responsibility I saw in the Colombian national team, in the Nigerian national team. The Greek team that went to that World Cup didn't even have any issues that has to do with allowances. As a matter of fact, the money the FIFA was supposed to pay them, which was $75,000, they volunteered it for further development of football in their country. I'm not saying the Eagles should do it free of charge, but I'm saying that there comes a time when country should come first. No matter how bad your country is, you must try as much as possible not to expose its rot at such a very, very popular view or what stage. And it was a problem, and the team had that problem, and they couldn't overcome it. It was there. The NFF itself had its own problems of corruption. Those boys probably thought that the NFF had collected the money and somebody had fixed the money in the usual way in an account and wasn't willing to pay them. Those boys probably would have felt somebody was trying to reap from where they didn't sow. So you had those combination of factors coming into play. So I think going forward or moving forward, issues like allowances, issues like proper training for the World Cup should be put in place long before the World Cup kickstarts. And we cannot just get to a world stage like that and start embarrassing ourselves in public. We mustn't let the whole world know that Nigeria is so bad that they cannot conduct themselves for just 4 weeks in front of international media. I think we must look into that. Organization is important, and commitment on the part of the players also matters. And I want to see more fighting Eagles and more patriotic Eagles than what we saw in Brazil. I think that really isn't where it should be at the moment.
So would you say Keshi was wrong to drop some of the players he didn't take to the World Cup, talking about Ba and D-Lights?
Well, again, the problem with Keshi, with all due respect, he's done a lot for Nigeria. He's very experienced. He deserves all the accolades he's getting, but I think he missed it. He goofed a little bit. He had personal issues with some players. He wanted to stamp his authority against what would have been collective good. He had crises with some particular players, and no matter how good those players were, he wasn't interested in taking them to the World Cup. And I'll give you two instances. Somebody like Kalu Uche. Kalu Uche was on top of his game in the last season that just ended. He didn't take Kalu Uche to the World Cup probably because he felt Kalu Uche doesn't play to instructions. Keshi wasn't going to take Osaze to the World Cup if there was no outcry from Nigerians. Mba didn't go to the World Cup. I personally do not like Mba's style of play, but I think Mba is even better than some people that went to the World Cup. Mba for me was better than Gabriel Ruben. Those are issues that he needs to look into. If he wants to be the coach of Nigeria's national team, he must know that the only unifying factor for Nigerians is football. And he must at least be able to, temper emotions with rationality. Where you have your best players, all you need to do is to take them and enforce discipline in camp. That's all that matters. There isn't any play anywhere in the world where coaches have a perfect relationship with their players. Management entails you to be able to identify a problem, and you don't shoot that problem at the wrong place. You attack that problem where it's supposed to be attacked without necessarily causing any confusion. He costed us that ticket because that midfield after Onazi was injured was empty. Mikel for me was absent at the World Cup. Mikel never went to the World Cup. Mikel was too full of himself. Mikel didn't put himself in the position that I wanted him to be. He didn't take charge of that match. Two things could be accountable. He probably didn't believe or see any reason why he should play for Nigeria the way he plays for Chelsea. Again, you bring that back to patriotism. So when Onazi left, who else did we have? If he took a player like, say, maybe an Mba to the World Cup, he probably would have played better. If Babatunde Michael wasn't injured, he probably would have fitted more into that role. But there was no bench. He only had a first 11. So all other teams were going to the World Cup with 22 players. Nigeria went to the World Cup with just 11 players. So he couldn't perform magic. And it was his blame. It was his problem. He needs to understand that. He needs to admit it. And he needs to move forward from that point if Nigeria should make progress at the world stage.
They've tried anyway. They've given their best. You can only give what you have. You can't give what you don't. I think we have some lapses there, and we have some. We saw some disappointment in the team. Some players we're looking up to didn't really perform very well, and but sometimes when you talk of a game like this, we have 4 years to prepare for this tournament, and we have enough time. I think there are one of the problems I think we are having is that we don't really learn from other people. We seem not to learn the good thing. We easily learn the bad thing of other, the bad side of other things. That's what we learn. We don't learn the good thing. Looking at the World Cup, we should learn from other coaches. Look at the Netherlands coach. The German coach, the Spanish coach. These are teams we need to learn from. What is it that they are doing that we are not doing? Where are they getting things right that we are not getting things right? So far, Kesha has tried anyway. And there's something about Nigerians who like this fire brigade approach. You want a Messiah that will come and do a miracle overnight. But sometimes miracles doesn't happen. You need to work for a miracle before it comes. We need to work for a miracle. I would just want like magic, just come and do a magic. And now I'm hearing that Keshi has resigned. He has not resigned. I don't really know the fact, the truth about the matter. But the issue is this. This team have gone a long way. This was the same team he went to the Nations Cup with. At the first stage, when he went to the Nations Cup, there was no adequate preparation for him, even that he was going to reach the finals. And here we are, he went to the finals, and with luck on our side, he won the cup. We said, okay, take us to the World Cup. Well, we played the qualifiers. Right from the qualifier, we had a very good qualifying match. We qualified freely. There was no trouble. Now the time for the World Cup came, and it's left for him now to do his job anyway. But there are some certain things you will do behind closed doors. We don't know. The issue of the NFA, the NFF, there are a lot of politics going in there. If at least I was opportune to hear from someone who works in there, a lot of politics is being played in there. And when you play this kind of politics in that kind of, well, I don't know what to expect from the coach. What you see in there is what will come out in the pitch. So I don't know the kind of magic the coach is going to perform. So we just have to learn how to keep this coach and make him learn from other mistakes. I think we need to give him more chance. So far, so good. The team, each of their game, the first game, they had a draw. The second game with Argentina, we played good football. Argentina won with experience. We played our third game, and we won with a goal near. We qualified. And when we played with France, we played good football. our football was okay in the midfield. We had the whole we took charge of the game, but we had problems. We had problems with in the striking force, and it was like, but France being an old team, a World Cup winning team, and they won us based on that experience. So we just need to look at we need to give Kesh a chance. Leave him. The only thing, let him make. We should just give him a free hand.
Well, that's what they had to say. What do you have to say? Send your comments to @Channels Beam or to @Victor_MBIDI using the Super Eagles hashtag. We take a break, and when we return, Ifreke Iyang will join us.